The Legend of the Aura Spark, The Great Cost. Chapter 1, The Genetic Architect. In the deepest sanctuary of Cerulean Cave, Mutuo hovers in a silent, meditative trance. Using Psi Strike, he weaves 18 shimmering strands of elemental energy into a glowing DNA helix, the blueprint for a balanced world. Suddenly, the floor fractures. A thick, ink-like liquid known as the Dark Abyss seeps through the cracks, a primal void seeking to dissolve the helix and return the world to a hollow silence. Chapter 2, The Living Anchor. The abyss flows across the ice of a northern temple like black oil. The champion Macamp stands guard, anchoring his very molecules against the vacuum as shadow tendrils try to drag him into the dark. In a blinding flash of resolve, his form hardens into the indestructible, multi-eyed Regis Teal. He becomes a silver wall, holding the line where the light meets the deep. Chapter 3, The North Wind and the Shadow. At the bottom of a lightless ocean trench, a brave Squirtle touches a glowing blue heart of the sea, evolving into the majestic Suicune to purify the black sludge into turquoise waves. Simultaneously, in a decaying power plant, a ghastly inhales the abyssal smoke, solidifying into a menacing Jengar to patrol the boundary of the rising dark. Chapter 4, The Sword of Justice. In a forest of charcoal trees where the sap has turned to ink, a small Bulbasaur gathers the last remaining sunbeams into her bulb. As she breathes in the dying essence of the forest, she transforms into the elegant Virizion. With a cry of justice, she summons a glowing green sacred sword, slicing through the dark waves and releasing trapped light that turns the ink back into emerald leaves. Chapter 5, The Path of the Vanguard. Through a wasteland of black sand, a young Rylailu travels alongside a battle-scarred Charizard and 2 human researchers. Rylailu carries 4 glowing tokens, the eternal embers of Steel, Shadow, Emerald, and Pearl. At night, Charizard uses a gentle blaze to keep the creeping black crystals at bay, their campfire acting as a lone sanctuary of warmth in a world losing its color. Chapter 6, The Cinnabar Evolution. On the ash-covered shores of Cinnabar Island, the team is surrounded by abyssal Beedrill with wings of smoke. Charizard falls to one knee, his tail flame flickering dangerously low. Seeing his mentor fading, Rylailu's spirit catches fire. He erupts in a pillar of white light, evolving into Lucario. He charges a brilliant blue aura sphere that pulses with a sacred frequency the abyss cannot swallow. Chapter 7, The Ancient Bolt. At the summit of MT Silver, Lucario finds a shivering Pikachu lost in a blizzard of abyssal shards. Lucario channels his life energy into a golden heal pulse. The Pikachu absorbs the aura, growing into the massive saber-tooth Raikou. Raikou roars, becoming a bolt of golden lightning that shatters the abyssal storm and restores the natural sky for miles around. Chapter 8, The Zenith of Aura. The battle reaches the Indigo Plateau, where a great abyssal rift has opened. Mutuo descends to stand behind Lucario. A trainer raises a glowing Lucario Knight, and Lucario undergoes Mega Evolution. He launches a massive aura storm beam of prismatic energy that strikes the heart of the abyss, but the rift does not close, it pulls. Mutuo realizes the source must be destroyed from within. Chapter 9, The Vertical Sea, The Entry. The Trinity Lucario, Charizard, and Bulbasaur, reverted from her Virizion form to conserve energy, dive into the rift. Gravity becomes a suggestion, and the air tastes like copper. As they descend into the origin, the light of their home world shrinks into a tiny, mocking star above them. They are in a dimension where the darkness has a heartbeat like grinding stone. Chapter 10, The Mirror of Shadows. The abyss mocks them with shadow shades ink black, featureless reflections of the heroes. Lucario watches an abyssal version of himself mirror his combat stance perfectly. He realizes these shades lack a soul spark. Using his aura spheres, he shatters the illusions, proving their bond is the one thing the abyss cannot replicate. Chapter 11, The Brother's Shield. A spike of solid void erupts from the floor, aimed at Lucario's heart. Bulbasaur throws herself into the path of the strike. The impact is sickening, her primary vine is severed, and her bulb cracks, leaking a faint green light. Lucario lets out a psychic howl of grief, unleashing an aura storm to protect his fallen sister as they reach the pulsing core. Chapter 12, The Choice of the Trinity. They reach the singularity. Mewtwo's voice vibrates in their minds, it requires a displacement of life force. A positive ignition to cancel the negative void. Lucario looks at Charizard. They have fought 1,000 battles, and they both know what the great cost means for the world to see the sun again. They accept the burden together. Chapter 13, The Vaporization, the Sacrifice. Lucario and Charizard step into the center of the core and embrace. Channeling every memory of the sun and every thread of aura into a single point, a blinding white and gold nova erupts. Their physical forms begin to vaporize, turning into shimmering blue and orange particles that swirl upward like embers, collapsing the abyss from within. Chapter 14, The Snap of the Rift. The explosion turns the ink to gold dust. Mewtwo grabs the injured Bulbasaur to warp out, but the rebound of the sacrifice is too violent. As the exit rift shrinks, a surge of gravity catches Bulbasaur, dragging her into a dark pocket of the void. Mewtwo lunges, his hand inches away, but the rift snaps shut with the sound of thunder. Mewtwo is thrown back into Kanto. Bulbasaur is gone. Chapter 15, The Infinite Silence. Bulbasaur wakes in total darkness. No wind, no breath, no heartbeat. She begins to walk, her vines reaching out into the empty, cold air, searching for a wall that isn't there. She is the ghost in the machine, the hero the world forgot while it moved on. In the void, time has no meaning, she becomes a wanderer in an eternal night. Chapter 16, The World of Harmony. Decades pass. The Indigo Plateau is a sanctuary of peace. Ho-Oh streaks across the sky, leaving a rainbow trail that heals the earth. Macamp, now organic again, stands in the green fields. The world is happy, unbeknown to the fact that their peace was bought by the two who vaporized and the one who remained in the dark. Chapter 17, Tearing the Veil. Mewtwo, haunted by the aura echoes of that final day, spends 40 years in meditation. He finally finds a tiny vibration of Bulbasaur's spirit. He returns to the rift site and, with a scream of willpower, physically pried the fabric of reality apart. His veins pop as he fights the universe's will to keep the void closed, refusing to let the sacrifice be total. Chapter 18, The Homecoming. The void is shattered by a golden-purple rift. An elderly, gray-toned Bulbasaur looks up, her weathered face catching the light for the first time in 40 years. Her eyes fill with massive, shimmering tears of shock as she sees Mewtwo reaching through the tear. Their hands meet, and she is pulled back into the sun. The great cost is settled. The Trinity is home. The end.